What is your favorite reaction to the film so far?
Sobbing.
Yeah.
I think people watch me and immediately start crying. I've done my job.
I think for me,
right? Go ahead, Nico.
No, yeah, it's people having such an emotional reaction to it is really sort of amazing to see. I think also for me, people are used to seeing unlikable characters from me, but not so much evil characters. So I've been getting a lot of messages of just like, I hate you. What are you doing? I'm like, it's my job. I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, so Nico, I know the internet found out that you were going to be part of this movie kind of in the middle of production. Did you pay attention to any of the fan theories about who you might be playing? And were there any that really surprised you?
Oh my God. I think the funniest for me was back when I was sort of still on Twitter land, was somebody was like, is he playing MODOK? And I'm just like, I just answered, yes, I'm playing MODOK, because they could just say they don't have to CGI me because I already look like MODOK and I have the same size head and body. So, but I just kept telling people, kept having, sorry, I'm getting a text here. People kept having these theories of who I was going to play. And I was like, just kept telling people that I was going to be playing Groot's gay Uncle Fruit to sort of just keep them quiet. I'm just like, stop trying to speculate. You know, I'm not going to tell you who I'm playing.
No, I mean, we could tell you and never be heard from again.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so exactly. I heard through the grapevine that you both came up with a musical number about your characters. How did that happen? And can you tease what the song was actually about? Because I desperately want to hear it.
Hey, look.
Well, that was all Miriam.
And the truth is, I'm a giant dork. So that's not really news for anybody who knows me. But yeah, I don't know. That's how I start my days at work. I'm like, oh, what if there was a musical number and I just wrote some silly lyrics and then I made Nico perform it with me, and then he filmed it with his iPhone. What if that was our first day on the job?
That was our first day, and he filmed it. I'm trying to remember. It seems like we filmed this movie a lot, like eons ago. So
yeah, I'm
trying to remember what.
I wanted to be Broadway-esque, but also like theme songy from an 80s sitcom. Like them and Theel.
Yes.
You know, that kind of thing. And I was like, Nico, what do you think? And he was like, let's do it. And I was like, he's my best friend.
I was immediately like with my top hat and cane. Just
Yes. I was like, we were born to be friends.
I love it. I hope that's on like the DVD box set or something, because I desperately want to see that. So you both obviously
I want to see the footage.
I know. So you both come from a comedy world. I'm a huge fan of Younger, by the way. How did you think that kind of helped your approach to the film, even though the subject matter of your characters is so serious?
Well, I mean, I come from comedy, but I also come from the theaters, and I've done a lot of drama as well. So I think what's amazing about James is that he understands the line between what's hilarious and what is truly emotional, right? He knows the importance of those two things being married for the world for fans. So I think it felt like it was important for him to have people who could understand the humor of it, because he's so smart with it. So he seemed like people we worked with were all able to understand the comedy, but also get the sort of gravitas and the true emotion, you know? I loved it. It kind of worked on every part of what I love to do.
And Nico,
it was amazing. You know, like I mostly work in comedy. So I know that when I get hired, it's usually because they want and are looking for a comedic approach to the role. So really I came in with that mindset, but like, even after reading the script and then getting on set, I was like, oh, there's actually so much more to what they need from this character, not just like the comic take. And working with Chuck and working with Miriam and James, you know, like it was so easy to sort of recalibrate my outlook for the part, because you just sort of understand when you got on set what was sort of needed from the character and what James needed from you. And acting alongside Chuck and Miriam was an absolute dream. So I was able to really sort of like, because a lot of James's notes to me was like a little smaller, just smaller. So I'm like, I got you. So I was able to at least I feel like I was able to give him both the comedic parts that he needed and still sort of play in that sort of menacing world that where we needed to be as well.
Because the stakes have to be high.
Mm-hmm.
They have to.
Yeah.
So I did want to ask what it was like to work with Chuck, because I've interviewed him in the past. He's such an incredible actor. What was it like to kind of be his henchman? Like what was that experience like to find the dynamic between your characters?
He's so dreamy. He's a delightful human.
He really is.
He really is, right?
Yeah.
He's such a delightful human. So funny. He's playing like the worst being in the universe, but he's a delightful human here on Earth. But and he's like a trained Shakespeare actor. So he talk about stakes. He understands how to get the stakes as high as possible. And when that's the case, it just feels like an engine that sets the scene going. And for anyone who's loves that and feeds off of that kind of thing, it felt like all of the best genres kind of rolled into one, and you really just got to, take it all the way to 11, and it was encouraging, and James was encouraging of all of it. He was like, try this, try that, so Chuck, there's nothing Chuck can't do. I feel like as an actor, but there's nothing Nico or Chuck can't do too, so no, but the three of us to get to work with no limits in a way, right? To go. And Chuck it was that.
It was really wonderful to watch him work. When you meet people that are just like so talented, it kind of makes you angry. That's kind of like when I watched Chuck perform, and there were moments when we were working in the same scene where I had to snap out of it and be like, be present. You are in the scene with him. You're working right now. Stop watching him. Because he is just his performance is so magnetic and just compelling that you can't help but just be mesmerized by it. And for me, it really, I used to work as a wardrobe assistant and dresser for a theater company for a Shakespeare festival. And so it really sort of brought me back to those days of me backstage waiting to change the actors after they've just delivered Henry IV speech. And I'm just that's kind of it really brought me back to those days. So it was a really sort of nostalgic moment for me as well.
Yeah. There were times when James was like, go make it Shakespeare, Chuck and I from stage were like, okay.
You got it.
That's amazing.
Like picking out the scenery from our teeth afterwards.
So obviously your characters' fates are somewhat definitive given the nature of the film. If you had a chance to come back, or through time travel or the multiverse or whatever, if you could cross over with another Marvel character, who would it be? That's
tough.
I've always wanted to be Dark Phoenix. So.
Ooh.
Damn. I don't know. There's something about Gamora, Nebula, and the sisters. I don't know. I feel like Vin would be like, hey guys, hey ladies. And then we would start. Is that weird?
No, I love it. I'm just picturing an all-girl rock band with all of y'all. That would be amazing.
Exactly. I already have.
Galaxy's Child is what you're going to be called.
Perfect. And then for my last question, have you had any conversations, even just jokingly, with James about following him over to his new job at DC? And if you were to play a character at DC, do you have any in mind?
Oh, get me out from under.
I haven't had any conversations with James, but I will happily follow that man over a cliff, much like Theel would follow the High Evolutionary anywhere. Yeah. He was such an amazing director to work with, just so kind and giving and collaborative. Obviously, I don't know, it was just one of the best working experiences I've had. And for a movie this large, I know my friends who have done movies this big, that isn't always the case. So I was really pleasantly surprised and happy at the working environment.
Yeah, I'll follow him into whatever universe he wants to go to.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. All right. Well, thank you guys both so much for taking the time to talk to me, and congrats again on the film. It is one of my favorites ever. You guys did such a great job.
Can't wait for you to see it a third time.